Okay, so for this lab, Lab 8.1, we're going to be installing WSUS and Windows Software Update Services, and then we're going to be configuring that. And then we're also going to be configuring, creating and configuring some group policy objects for to push this WSUS server out to all the clients and servers so that they all are managed through this WSUS server. And what this allows you to do is it allows you to control how things are installed, if they're installed automatically, or if you wait to install them, things like that. Certain times of the day you can install them, which you'll see when we get into the settings. But that's kind of what we're going to be doing. So first we want to start up the TEC330 DC and FSPS because we're going to be adding the WSUS role to the file and print server. So we're going to go into Hyper-V Manager, and we're going to start up. Oh, actually, they're still running because I got kicked out of this, and then it's a good thing to know. If you get kicked out of your session and then you come back, it actually will put the machines back to the state they were in when you left them. So they'll be at the same spot. So that's good to know. So those are already running. So I'm going to see what we got to do next. So we're going to log into the FSPS as administrator. All right. Don't need that anymore. And then we're going to go and we're going to install the WSUS role. So we're going to go to Manage and then Add Roles and Services. And then we're going to hit Role Based. And then we're going to do the server. And then we need to find Windows Server. So Windows Server Update Services. And then it's going to ask you for all these other features. We're going to say yes. We're going to hit Next. And then I don't think there's anything we need to do with any of this now. So hit Next. And then here it's just telling us some of the highlights of WSUS. Role services, we're going to keep this. This is going to be a Windows internal database, so we're not going to use SQL Server, so we're just going to do WID connectivity and WSUS services. And then next we need to specify a path to store the updates. So we already added another drive for the file server one, so I'm just going to actually use that. So we're going to create a new folder here, and we're going to call this updates, or actually let's call it WSUS. And then we'll do S. And we'll do WSUS. Next. I'm just going to say we have web server, which this is what it needs for WSUS, so we're just going to leave all the defaults. And then we're going to say restart if you need to. And here we go. It's going to install. And this will take a minute. Okay, and then when that's done, it could take a little while to do. You have this launch post-installation tasks. Which you can click on. And then we can close that window. I don't know if it's actually... Yeah, it might just take a second to load. Sometimes it shows up in the background. But we'll just wait for it. Okay, so now that finished. So if I click on WSUS, it does show in here the WSUS server. However, we want to go under the Windows Server Update Services Administrative tool, which is going to open up. And it's going to give us our configuration wizard because this is the first time going through with it. So we're going to click Next on this first screen. Then we're going to click uncheck the I would like to join the Update Improvement Program. And then we're going to synchronize from Microsoft Update. And then we do not need a proxy server. Now what we're going to do is we're going to click Start Connecting, which this could take a couple minutes, so you got to wait for it to finish. So I just realized that we can actually stop this and cancel the wizard, and it'll actually take us into the WSUS tool. If you are not in there, you can get to it by going back to the Windows Server Update Services. The reason it doesn't work is because it's trying to download all of the updates, and we would have to wait forever for that. So when you get in here, if you go to Options first, we can go in here and select our products and classifications. Right, so this is going to give you all of your products. We're going to uncheck the whole entire thing, and we're just going to do Windows 10. And then we're going to select Windows Server 2019. I think that's all we need to do for now. Yeah. But there's a whole bunch of different products you can select here. We're going to go under classifications, and we're going to do security updates, definition updates, critical updates. You can also do regular updates, upgrades, service packs, tools, all that kind of stuff. But we're just going to leave these three selected for now. Hit apply. Okay. And then we have synchronization schedule. We're going to leave this set to manually for now. And then the only other thing that we need to do in here right now is go over to synchronizations and then do synchronize now. And it's going to start. It's not entirely necessary that we have the synchronization done for this lab because we're not going to actually pull updates down, but for the purposes of getting it the clients connected to this, that's the only thing that's going to be missing. So let's go and see what we need to do next. So it says create 2 WSUS groups, user computers and servers. So what we're going to do is we're going to go under, we have computers and then all computers, and then you have unassigned computers. So this is where all the computers will go by default. So we're going to create a new computer group, and we're going to say user computers, and then we're going to create one called servers. Servers. Okay. So we got those created. And now we're going to create 2 automatic approval rules for each WSUS group with settings. So the automatic approvals are under options, and what that allows you to do is this allows you to approve certain types of updates automatically and or not approve certain updates. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a new role, and we're going to say when an update is in a specific category. Or wait, I'm sorry, that's not what I wanted to do. Clicked on the wrong one. So we're going to do just critical definition and security updates. And then we're going to say this is for user computers only. So you're only going to get updates for your user computers. So we're going to hit OK. So there's our rule for this one. And then we're going to do a new rule. And we're going to say for our servers, we're just going to do critical and security updates. And then we're going to say servers only. Let's say servers. So there's our two different rules, so you can apply different updates. You can also set a deadline for these. So you'd say 7 days after the update is approved, then it has to be installed by that date, and it will force the user to do that. We're not going to do that for this, but it says we cannot save because it's synchronizing. Alright, so we got to stop that and then go back and redo that. Okay, so you can see it already started pulling down some updates. So I'm not going to sync it again because at this point it's just going to slow us down for this lab. So let me go back to automatic approvals, new rule, and then I'll do our keys for user computers. Do another new rule. And for these, we're just going to do critical and security. And we're going to do that for servers only. I'm going to call this servers. Okay, apply. Now it lets us do that. Alright, so we have our two groups, and then we have our two automatic approvals. So you want to take a screenshot of this and a screenshot. Well, you can get both in the same screenshot if you do this with automatic approvals here, and then your computer groups over here on the left. And now we're going to do the GPO part of this, where we are going to link the GPOs to we're going to do the GPO settings in our server. Well, on our clients, we're going to push the GPO down that has all the settings for our WSUS server, along with how we're going to have updates installed for those. So we need to log into our domain controller and do group policy. So we're going to do log in here. And we're going to go into group policy. Whoop, that's not what I wanted. Okay. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the domain controller policy. So or actually, we can do it on our general lab policy, right? So we can take our general lab policy, and since it's applied in all these different OUs, so since it's applied under each one of these groups, we can apply our server name there inside of that general lab policy. So what we'll do is it's under policies for computer settings, and then it's under system, and then it's under Windows components, I believe, and then Windows update. Here it is. Okay, so we need to find the so there's a bunch of settings here. I think it's under specify intranet Microsoft update service location. So we're going to set this to enabled, and then you can see here the servers. So here what we're going to do is we're going to set, so we'll use TEC330 FSPS, and I believe, so our default location is going to be http://TEC330 FSPS port 8530. And we're going to do that for both the intranet update service and intranet statistics server. And then we're not going to set any other settings here. We're just going to apply this. And then we have a whole bunch of other settings here. However, depending on how you have your group policy set up, you may not want to do some of these other settings. So here's the one for configuring automatic updates. So we're going to say, so maybe for this one, you want to do auto download, notify for install. Now we're going to do schedule. And then you can do your scheduled install day. But we're going to do every week. Okay. Then you have your updates detection frequency. We're going to set this to an hour. And then I don't think there's any other. Then you can specify your maximum active hours that you can set in Windows, in some of the newer versions of Windows. And then you can allow immediate installation of updates. That's always a good one to do. And then allow non-administrators to receive updates. That's another good one to do. I don't know if we need this one set, but I'm just going to set it. You can do auto restart reminders. So for the configure updates, so for this one, you may want to actually, oh, I didn't save that. I thought I set that way. Why is it? Maybe that's why. Let's see if it likes it now. I don't know why it's not changing that. Oh, well. So I guess it's notify for download and install. So the other thing I was looking for on here is there's a way to target where. Oh, here we go. Enable client-side targeting. So here, you can target what group that the computer goes in based on the group policy. So I'm going to set the default to user computers in this one. And then what that's going to do is that's going to basically do the client-side targeting on any machine. It's going to put into that user computers OU, or into that user computers group that gets this general lab policy. Well, then also what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another policy under my group policy objects for server updates, and then I'm going to link this to the servers OU. So if I look here, I can change my link order as well so that server updates is the last one that runs. And then I can also enforce this so that it always gets applied. And then if I edit this one and go under policies, templates, those components, update, and then client-side targeting, find it. Enable client-side targeting, and then we'll say servers. And then basically any computers that are in this servers OU are now going to go into the servers computer group here. And then we could do the same thing on the default domain controllers policy as well, and make sure that the domain controllers go into the servers OU. Okay, so now we got that for both of those. So what we can do then is we can start making sure that they show up now. So that's what we're going to be doing in our next lab. So for this one, you'll want to take that screenshot that you want to submit that screenshot from earlier with the two computer groups. And then also you'll want to take a screenshot of the settings that we did for these policies. So you'll see there. And then if you just look at general lab policy, you'll see all of our settings here. Oh, that's weird. It saved the setting, however, that it didn't load the right one. Here's all of our settings for that. So you'll want to take screenshots of that as well and submit them. If you're moving on to the next lab, you can leave these computers on. We're going to do a GP update on them at the beginning of the lab. And then we're going to test out and make sure that this WSUS is working and it's being applied on the computers themselves.